Hello, Eastside Youth. Hopefully, you guys are doing well, having a good week. We're not too far away from Christmas break, so hang in there. It'll go by quicker than we think, and it's beautiful outside. It does not feel like December. This is your midweek encouragement video and kind of check in. If you didn't know, Chick-fil-A is in town, so if you're seeing this and it's not 7 p.m. tonight, Hope Church has got the Chick-fil-A truck in their lot again. And you know me, it's always worth it. So head on over there, get some chicken. It's good stuff. It's keeping us fueled. So this is the midweek encouragement. Just a little recap of what we talked about Sunday evening. We decorated the youth room, and I'll be sharing some pictures of that. I'm going to go over there and plug some stuff in, take some pictures, because I realized we didn't take very many pictures Sunday night. And so that was a good time. Shout out to the Chido girls for bringing in some treats and stuff. Those are really good. Appreciate that. And thanks for all your help in getting the room decorated. It's just nice to have that festive feel for the year. And so, that's going to be really nice as we move into the next couple weeks. Regular youth group this week. So Sunday, we're going to have regular youth group. Join us for that. It's going to be a good time. And then the following Sunday is our Christmas party. And that is going to start an hour earlier at 3 p.m. And you guys will see stuff on the internet about this. But just keep in mind, like, if you want to participate in the sock exchange, bring a pair of socks, new pair of socks, not used, new pair of socks wrapped for the sock exchange. We're going to have a good time with that. There's going to be all sorts of treats and games and prizes and that type thing. As for this last Sunday, we talked about how Jesus provides us a greater confidence in our faith. And we talked about how in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it talks about, like, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And we talked about how this idea of assurance or conviction or this idea of confidence has very little to do with certainty. And we start talking about, it feels really good to have certainty, to be certain of something. But that is not really what faith is. Faith calls us to, in the face of things that we're not 100% certain of. We just, because we are physical people we're dealing with spiritual things and things that we're hoping for and looking to the future for, the object of our faith is good. And so we can have confidence in Jesus in a way that we can have confidence in nothing else. But faith is not the same as certainty. It doesn't produce certainty in us. And so this week we're going to continue in the Hall of Faith, that Hebrews chapter 11, that's like the beginning of the Hall of Faith. And then again, remember, Hebrews chapter 11 is highlighting all of these Old Testament heroes of the faith and noting that they had faith and what they did with their faith and why they had faith. So this week we're going to be in Hebrews chapter 11, starting in verse 17. It says, "By faith Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promises was in the act of offering up his son, his only son, of whom it was said, 'Through Isaac all your offspring shall be named.' He considered that God was able even to raise him from the dead, from which, figuratively speaking, he did receive him back." We're going to stop there. So this is Abraham gets another mention in the Hall of Faith, and this time it comes after the covenant, after Abraham had left his home. We looked at that a few weeks ago, and he went to a land that he didn't know, that a land that God told him, "Hey, go over there. I've got a promise for you. I've got a land for you. Get going." And now he has left his home. God told him, "I'm going to bless. I'm going to give you countless descendants." And remember, Abraham and Sarah, his wife, were older, and they're like, the jig's kind of up in the area of having kids. So no, and we talked about how Sarah had even found it humorous that God would do that, and then God gave her the son Isaac, and so they had been told God is going to fulfill this promise through your son Isaac, and then in the scene that they're talking about, it comes from, I want to say it's Genesis, I want to say it's 22, but I'm not certain on that. I could go back and look real quick, but I think it's Genesis 22 where God shows up. He tells Abraham, "Okay, I want you to take Isaac up to the top of the mountain, and I want you to offer him as sacrifice. And so Abraham comes to Isaac, and he says, okay, we're going up to offer sacrifice to God. Grab the wood. We'll head up there. And about halfway up, Isaac goes, hey, Dad, where's the goat or the sheep? And Abraham just tells him, no, God will provide the sacrifice. And they get to the top of the mountain, and, Isaac's like, still hasn't found a goat. And then Abraham's like, I'm just, he ties him up, he lays him down there, and he gets ready to kill him. And then what the author here says is like, he likens it to a figurative saving him or raising him from the dead, where Isaac was considered as good as dead. Abraham was going to do it. Nothing in the Bible suggests that Abraham got all the way to the point and then he chickened out. It is only because God showed up and provided the ram stuck in the little thingy to not result in Isaac being offered. It is only because of that Isaac is not offered. And so it's this idea that Abraham, remember, God said, I'm going to give you descendants, and they couldn't have a son. They couldn't. They were beyond years, and God gave them one anyway. And then God said, okay, well, we're going to do this. And they go up and they offer this. He gets ready to offer his only son as sacrifice. That is an extreme act of faith, because I don't think my faith is strong enough to where if I just couldn't get to that point. I don't think I could. And so he does it, and then God bails it out. He says, no. The plan here is not for you to kill Isaac. I have provided a sacrifice, but you, Abraham, had enough faith in me to understand that I told you I was going to fulfill this promise through Isaac. So no matter what, whether I provided an offering stuck in a bush or I raised Isaac from the dead, no matter what, Abraham, you believed that I was going to come through. And that's the point, is that Abraham had faith that God was faithful to deliver what he said. Pure and simple. Because it says in Hebrews that God had told him, through Isaac shall your offspring be named. So Isaac is going to carry on that line and that promise. And Abraham knows that because God told him that. And so Abraham believed it to the point where he had faith that God was either going to provide an offering, which he did, or if it ended up resulting in Isaac's life being taken, God would somehow raise Isaac back to life. That is very extreme faith. But again, we're looking at this hall of faith. And when these characters and these heroes of the faith, when we start talking about their faith, we always look at something that they do to express their faith. And the same is true for us. I genuinely believe that's why James tells us, faith without works is dead. You do not have to work to have salvation, but if we say we have faith, it should produce some sort of action to show that faith. A faith that is not being worked out and showing and being shown and being doing stuff, whether that is, you guys know what I'm saying. Faith that doesn't do that is stagnant, and it's not a living faith. And when we start talking about faith in God and faith in Christ, remember, the object of our faith is so much greater, and then that demands a greater response. And so keep that in mind, that there's some times where, we think all hope is lost in the things that God calls us toward, or we don't really understand what God is going to do in a certain situation, but we really feel like that's the direction God is sending us and pushing us into. And it's okay to not know. That's where we talked about Sunday, is certainty is not the point. What is more important is practicing and living out our faith and yielding to how we feel the Spirit leading and calling us in those things. So that's Abraham, I guess, part 2 for the Hall of Faith. We're looking forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Just a reminder, no Sunday morning youth. I'm preaching again this week, so would love to see you guys there for that. But if not, we will see you guys for Sunday night youth group at 4. It's going to be a good time, and we're almost to the end of the year. So hang in there, guys. We love you, and we will see you soon. Bye.